Right now I'm focusing on growing, getting more customers. That's AMM.
Yeah.
Always make money. So I'm trying to just get my revenue up, and then I start making some changes. I'm always looking for who is going to challenge me.
Yeah.
Where am I going to learn? Where I can add value to you?
Yeah.
Where can I be more valuable to you? Every time, every interaction, I said it earlier, I'm always trying to add value.
Yeah.
And I look for people the same way. And I want to be able to have this synergy of, this is what I'm proposing, and I want you to propose to me. And let's lift up together.
Welcome to Create Before Consume. Now, here's your host, Fitz.
Welcome to Create Before Consume, a podcast from creators for creators, all about creating. And today we got a special guest here. We have Victor here. Can you explain who you are, what you do, and what is your story? It's a lot.
How long do we have?
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Just hungry, but we're fine.
So my name is Victor Bolivar. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've been in the apparel space. I had a clothing line at one point. I had an e-commerce. I did some real estate. Most recently, what I've done is I kind of meet up and partner up with local entrepreneurs and local businesses. And I try to add as much value as possible. And sometimes that produces opportunities of investments for mutual economic growth.
Ooh, that's a lot of buzzwords. I like that. Yeah, but that being said, like we had you over and we're kind of like talked about the lens stand, my favorite product, and you gave me some advice and a lot of questions. And I was like, this is kind of interesting because like you're now in a phase where it's probably not about like, okay, what is the next project that I can do so I can work my butt off. It's more about like what has value, what has potential. Can you explain like the journey where you are at right now?
So my newest venture is October of last year. I bought a cleaning business. Yeah. And so my newest venture right this second is a residential commercial cleaning business. It's called Vilas Cleaning Solutions. And that's kind of my focus right now. I travel a lot. Just went down to South America in January, came back in March, leaving again in June, probably coming back the end of July, maybe the beginning of August. So my focus is my focus right now. Yeah. In addition to it, I've done a couple of things in here with the local entrepreneurs. Graphica is an art school that I kind of helped out and partner up with about a year ago. So yeah, you asked about you said about. Or you mentioned about asking questions, and that's kind of I operate life in general. Like I am very curious. The beauty of seeing products like this, that I've never seen before, is that I'm coming in with an ignorance that is very beneficial because I don't know what it is. I don't know what you guys do as I'm not a photographer. Yeah. So my questions are targeted to business in general, which I am. Yeah, I think I'm good at. So yeah, curiosity is kind of how I lead, and I think you can help more when you ask questions.
I like that. So what are the typical problems? Like, let's say, here's me. I have an idea. I want to do something, and everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's at different stages. What are like the common things where you look out for, what they should have in place when they're doing something?
So, and this is not rocket science. I think every book you read and everything you kind of see if you're into that self-help and business, it's all about execution. And I think people get romantic about what they do, and they forget about the execution of. Yeah. And I have this saying, if you're a friend of mine, you know about it. AMM is always make money. So whatever it is that I am looking at, I'm always looking at from the revenue aspect of it. So point of view.
Basically like heavily on the numbers, like the numbers need to be there, everything needs to be selling, and you cannot be just like, oh, I'm just planning.
You got to be selling, you got to be making money. You have to, that's the only thing that will prove your concept. Yeah. Because everything is hypothetical. and I hate these. People will tell you, well, like if I'm in a cleaning business, well, we have, I don't know, 3 million people living, homeowners in St. Pete. So that's my market. Bullshit. That's not my market.
Yeah.
My market is very different. My market is, busy entrepreneurs, busy mid-level managers that can clean their homes. So my promise is, I give up time because people are busy. And so I'll do the dirty work. I'll clean your house while you spend time with your family, kids, type of thing. So execution is kind of the thing. It's where people miss the ball the most.
Ooh, I liked that because like you just said like something about picking kind of like a niche, and it sounded like instead of like, hey, you have whole St. Petersburg where we are currently are.
Sure.
It's more about like, hey, you have specific audiences. So how do you figure out what is your ideal audience? Like, do you just randomly pick them, or what is your process?
Are you talking about my business in the cleaning business or in general?
In both, actually. Like, because like if I would start a new business, for example, or want to break into a new market so it's helpful for other people, how do they pick it, and how do you do it for yourself? Like,
well, like you said, in this stage of my life, I sometimes a good 50% of my investments is geared towards people, more so than even the product itself. Like if I see that you're focused, you got you know what you want, you're selling, you're passionate about the product. That's a big thing. And then you got the execution and the money, obviously. Then we're talking about margins. We talk about if I feel that I'm connected with the product, like this is a manufacturing product. I had a clothing line for some time, so I sold things on eBay. So I kind of know what it takes to sell online. Never really did a home run, like sold millions of whatever. Never really happened, at least for me. But I kind of have a little bit of an expertise, or know some about what it takes to make money online. So for my cleaning business, I always have people cleaning my house. So I'm a perfect product. I'm a perfect client. So it's like me, my wife being busy. I'm busy. I have kids, 4 kids at one point. So we just didn't want to clean, and I think that's my target audience. For you, simple. People that are passionate about cameras. So this is a niche product. It's a people that they are passionate about cameras. They like to display them like you have them displayed. So that's a niche product. You do have a little bit of a proven you make some money.
In my head is like it's so proven. I'm like I got the numbers, I got the sales. It's like the personal experience. Like you list it and you have it up there for like a week, then it gets picked up, sells out, and it's like, oh, great feeling. You maybe produce more, and then sells out again. You're just like, yeah. So for me, it's in my head, it's proven, but I completely get like it's actually also really interesting for other people. What are the things that you need to see? Or what are the things you need to show that it actually works? Because like in my head, man, I got a banger. I'm believing in it, and we all are delusional to a degree about like our ideas. Like I know what it's worth, and you might be right, you might be wrong, you never know.
Yeah, no, you have a romance with the product. You yourself are a camera guy, right? You have a bunch of cameras, you do a video.
I see the value.
So this is what you do. So you sold it once, you made a batch of 10, 20 sold, they sold out. So that to you is a big deal. So I look at it, something like the numbers you show me, they have a tendency to be anecdotal.
Okay.
Because you make a product, right? You sell it. 20 people buy it. Can you get 100 people to buy it?
Yeah.
Can you get 200? Can you get 500 people? Can you get 1,000 people to buy it? When you get into the hundreds of people buying it, then you can say, "Oh, something's up here." We can get, and then not just buying it, but then you got a cycle, right? They bought it, they got it. The product, the whole. The process was smooth. They got it on time. It shipped nicely. They got it. They like it. They maybe did a review. A few weeks later, they buy another one. That's a perfect proof of concept. You know. And then you have that numerous times. You can say, okay, there's something here. Then it's just a matter of scaling it. If you did it to 20, 30, 40 people, Can you do it to 80 people? Can you do it to 100 people? And so forth.
I think I should set the stage now. So currently I had like, I think like it's 80 or 100 customers. I'm somewhere around there. Like it's 80 reviews maybe and 100 customers, or I'm not 100% sure. I have to double check the numbers, but it's roughly that ballpark. So I'm in the first segment that you just mentioned, and I had some people rebuy the product. I had like everything is 5 stars. I never had like a return or anything like, just like I had like mentions when does the next one come. So I'm basically in the early stages, and I think like from an investor's point, that is also like a really good thing. Like what are the things, what are like red flags, what are the things that I ideally should like, hey, this is what I have to represent, and what are the things that you have to look for? Because like I want to understand both sides, and I want to basically be like now if you have your own product, this is how you pitch. So
okay, well, so thicken up, right?
Yeah.
Thicken your skin a little, so because it's gonna, I'm going
drill it. All right, for everybody.
So basically, you want to be organized.
Yeah.
You want to have. This is a lot of products, a lot of different things. As an investor, as someone that wants to help out, it will be helpful if we know how to help you.
Yeah.
But when you have so many different directions going, it's hard for us to pick. Okay, let me see how I can help you with this. But this is that.
Yeah.
Or those. So it will be easier when you narrow it down. You say, I got these 2, and I was taking you there on a constant basis. I was asking you, okay, so what if money was not a deal? What will you do? So then you started kind of narrowing things down. So that is kind of what you see as a green flag per se. When someone is organized, they have this thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
They have a path that's clear, and you can articulate it. It's a much better deal for all of us. And entrepreneurs are like, we all have those moments, even within my own business. So I wake up today, I have different things, thinking about maybe going more into commercial, maybe doing residential, changing my structure. I went to a seminar in Texas on the cleaning industry. And some of these, about 50% of the room worked in, and this is a little deeper than maybe what else you get to, but some cleaning companies in the country work with one person. One person comes to your house and clean the house, and a lot of them do 2 people. I've been doing 2 people because that's how I got it. I got the business working this way, and you will not believe the passion on the 2 ways of doing things. Some people think, doing 2 people is kind of like a detrimental for the business. You waste more time. And some other people say, no, it's the best.
Yeah.
You got 2 people, they're faster, but
I like the idea of 2 people, to be quite honest.
Oh, I that's how I know it.
Yeah.
So there's a beauty of coining and being open about what it is that they offer. So just back to the point that I was making about being organized, there are days I wake up and say, maybe I should do 1 person. But then I say to myself, let me stick to this for now, and maybe I can explore a different approach later on. Just got the business, just started it. So I'm not gonna rock the world. I'm not gonna I'm trying not to change too much. Right now I'm focusing on growing, getting more customers. That's AMM.
Yeah.
Always make money. So I'm trying to just get my revenue up, and then I start making some changes, which is kind of going back to your product. It's that. So you start selling right, and then it's stupid shit like the black is gonna sell more than the purple.
100%.
Then then maybe you make a yellow one and it's gonna oversell everybody, and then you have to make little tweaks, but you will not know that until you start going.
Yeah, so now I want to be a little bit devil's advocate because I was like, okay, for today, I did not really know what is going on, what you would like to know, or, I did not really try to pitch you anything.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like, otherwise it would have been like, hey, here's some examples of YouTubers, what they do. And, and ideally you want to do that when you want to try to get money. But I just wanted to highlight like, hey, I did a lot of random projects so that you can see like the prototypes, because you're like, I want to know about like the lights that you had, you know. I have not even shown you the lights and how, you know. So it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, I did a lot, I experimented a lot, so it's not a fling, you know. And that was my goal, to show you it's not a fling. It's like I'm working on it, just life happened.
I think that I don't feel like you were pitching me. Yeah. Which is a great thing. Yeah. I'm your friend. We'll see each other.
We're in a group. We
see each other every Tuesday. We just saw each other in a barbecue. Yeah. You invited me to potentially do a podcast.
That was my goal.
Yeah. You told me about a product that you had. You posted it out in a little group. Yeah. I liked it. Excites me. Like this is kind of what excites me. Talk about business, and it's so green, so I like it. Yeah. So I came over here and so I'm not rating you pitch, because it wasn't a pitch.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, because like
no. You weren't pitching me. You just told me, hey, I felt your passion. Yeah, I saw the numbers. You know, I think that you are still, you know, very green. Yeah, but you have a good niche thing going on. It seems like eventually you explained to me. Remember, I asked you, talk to me like I'm 4. Yeah, because then I got okay. So you just want to blow up. Yeah, you know, this product on a YouTube situation. You're used to that because you see friends that do it. I'm not familiar. I'm not in that
arena,
in that space. Yeah, I'm not in that space, so I don't know how things work in that. Yeah. But now I kind of understand. So you want to kind of mass produce, then you mass advertise, and boom, you make
more money.
You make more money. So it's a matter of there's also a dynamics of personalities. You know, when was the last time you and I sat and talked?
We haven't. And I'm like, so it's kind of funny because like I'm really bad with like remembering stuff, names, dates, everything, you know? So basically I was like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with you. And I was like, what was your story? You know, and I did not even know your story. And I'm like, I think he told me. And I think it was at the Nova, you know. And I'm like, I think it had something to do with sports car or renting. And then I'm like, then I hear like you did clothing. But I was like, I have no idea, you know.
Yeah, so that dynamics of personality, we're all humans. Yeah. We're different humans with different backgrounds. So the first time we see each other, especially talking business, there's a learning curve. Yeah, this is how
different levels too.
Different levels, different things. So we're acclimating to each other. So it wasn't a pitch. Yeah, we're two humans trying to interact. I'm always trying to add value so I ask a bunch of questions. If I don't know something, I just ask. You were nice enough to tell me, and now we're getting to see. Now we're going to the next step. Now I know. You have some issues with your wife and your home, and now
that sounds wrong. I don't have issues with my wife. I'm behaving good, I swear.
Some health issues. Some health issues, and we talked about maybe some of your finances and things like that. So now there's a personal situation going on in between us. Which is always positive, right?
But there's always drama in life. I mean, like, we can't avoid it.
Drama is always. I try my best to avoid it, but it kind of there's something wrong. I don't like the word drama. But there is some shit going on.
It's always some shit going on.
There's always some shit going on.
I mean, it keeps it spicy. On that note, though, like, what is, like, going on in your life? Because, like, you bought this cleaning company, and I think, like, that's an interesting move. Like, first off, why did you buy a cleaning company? And lead me through the process of, like, okay, you had money for your entrepreneurial journey, so you're not green like me. You're just like, okay, you're a veteran, and you're like, okay, saw this and I bought it. What made you buy it, and what is the...
So I have been looking to get all up to, just back up for a second. So yes, I am an entrepreneur, but for a while I actually worked. I was a business analyst for one of the biggest banks in the country for 16 years. Okay. So last year, I decided to quit that and then go full bore into my entrepreneurial journey. Now, parallel to me being an employer and working my thing, I always had other things. At one point, I had a food truck that I bought. Damn. I was selling.
We all have that memory of like, or that goal of like, if I have the money, I buy a food truck.
I freaking did it, dude. I loved it too. My daughter worked. My daughter was 12 when I got it. She was a cashier in the food truck at 12 years old. I saw her freaking handling long lines of things. We did the Reggae Fest,
Damn.
which is huge. So we had lines sold, pot and...
What happened? That sounds like
COVID. COVID happened.
Oh.
Yeah. My business model was events. I bought it, right? It was another business that I bought. So I'm used to buying shit, making it better, and then reselling it. So I bought it about 2 years before the pandemic. Yeah. And they had a place in Tampa where they just I sold churros and empanadas. Are you familiar with churros? They were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I went to take my daughter there and my son to eat churros. We like churros. And I really liked the food truck. And I said, we don't have anything like this in St. Pete. How would you like to open up or partner up? And St. Pete, the guy told me, nope, I don't want to do any of that. I said, phenomenal. Grab my number. I give him my card. I can't remember what it was. About a year later, the guy called me and said, hey, remember me? I'm the guy from the churros. Yeah. I'm selling it. I said, well, so I give him a price. Yeah. He didn't like the price. He wanted more. He said, no, that's not going to work. Yeah. About 3 months later, he called me again. He said, hey, remember that? Yeah. I have I will accept your price. I said, well, it kind of went down now. Yeah. So I offered him less money, and I ended up buying the thing. But the way I bought it was he was standing in a place in Tampa, just like food trucks. People will come and buy, and I said, "Well, that's great, but I don't want to do it in Tampa. Am I going too long?"
No. I'm just like switching camera angles.
I don't want to do it in Tampa. I want to do it in St. Pete. St. Pete had terrible laws on food trucks back then. You couldn't stay in one place 7 days a week. If you wanted to be static, you have to have 3 locations. Like every 2 days, you have to switch locations. So it was a nightmare.
Sounds actually like a good move theoretically. Like go from one company to another or one spot, whatever.
Oh, absolutely. But I didn't want to operate it like that. Oh. It wasn't making me. And I make good money where I was working. I wanted to kind of do it on the weekends and then grow it from there. So I did one event in St. Pete. I think it's like yoga, awakening to the sun. I think I did that. Okay. And I did very well. So you pay X amount of dollars to be in the place, and then you work for the weekend, maybe Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then at the end you make your money. And then I did the Reggae Fest, and I ended up doing, I don't know, $15,000 in like 3 days.
Bam. Yeah, that's nice.
So I said, this is what I'm doing. So locally where we live is a phenomenal area, and there's events every weekend. There is something. Yeah. There is this festival with speeds. There is food truck Fridays. There's events everywhere. So my business model was events. There was no event in St. Pete that weren't there. People would look at.
What was the improvement over? Like, let's talk numbers. Like on that. Like the old business model was making X. What was the new one?
Oh, dude, I 3X it within 6 months, and I was doing it part time. These guys was there.
Less work, more money.
Less work, it was just, and I changed some of the things in the menu. Yeah. I literally just fried things and give it to people. There was nothing, we didn't carry tomatoes or, rice or none of that. It was, was pre-made, fried, and delivered. Easy stuff.
Good.
Easy stuff. And then COVID happened. I was about 2 or 3 months before COVID. If you remember, it was March, so around December.
Tell me about it. I went full-time video, and COVID happened. I'm like, quit my job. I'm like, I got clients. Let's jump full-time.
Oh boy, that's something. Yeah. So in December, I talked to my wife at the moment, and we're like, this is going well. Yeah. I think we can do more than one event in the Tampa Bay area. Let's get another one. Yeah. And eventually we'll franchise. So I was looking to get another food truck. To franchise
expand too.
And then in March, I can't remember. We heard about this COVID thing happening, right, in February. And then I remember specifically one day in March, I got emails after emails of all the events canceling. Reggae Fest canceled. Whatever event was happening those weekends. So I had events planned out for 3 months, and they were all canceled within a week, I would say. So long story short, I got all the product. I gave it for free in my neighborhood. We set up one time and we cooked everything we had and we gave it to people for free. And then there was no outdoors events in St. Pete for a year. So I sold it. I sold the food truck. I sold it for more than what I bought it for.
That's good.
But at the end of the day, it wasn't a matter of making money. It was, we did well. I knew that we could do well doing that. My kids had a great experience. I had fun doing this shit. It was a lot of work, but it was fun, and that was it. But yeah, so that's the story with the food truck. And then so my cousin, I'm from Venezuela.
Yeah.
It's not a speech impediment. I actually do have an accent.
We both have an accent, so we're here just like
So I do have an accent. I'm not from here. So my cousin just came in from Venezuela, and she doesn't speak any English.
Yeah.
And she wanted to clean houses. Somebody was hired her to clean houses. They were exploiting her tremendously. They were paying her very little.
Yeah.
And she was working a lot. And she said to me, "Well, can you help me out?" I said, "Yeah." I have another friend of mine, Donnie. Hi, Donnie, who owns also a cleaning business in town.
Yeah.
Great guy, and his wife Jackie. And I met with him, and I kind of asked him how could help my cousin.
Yeah.
So he kind of gave me some pointers, and then I told him that maybe I want to open up a cleaning business. And he said, "Well, shit, buy one. Why would you want to start your own?"
Yeah.
So I knew this girl that knew somebody that was selling a portfolio of homes.
Yeah.
To clean, and I bought it.
So now I have to ask a couple of questions because it is not normal, or at least depending on where you and how you grew up, it's not really normal to let's buy this business. What does that mean? How do you come up with the numbers? Because when you said I bought the food truck, and he said he wanted X, and I was like, nah. What is a good number? To buy a business or sell a business? Is it the yearly revenue? Is it monthly? What how do you calculate that, and how do you buy a business? Well, how do you get the mindset even of buying a business?
So with the cleaning business situation, before I even, when I was just starting to help my cousin, I realized how profitable it is. What you pay employees and what you get charged, what you charge the customers, and there is a margin there that is actually very nice.
Yeah.
So I looked at it and said, man, this is not bad. My friend Donnie, he's doing very well as well. I don't want to talk numbers, but he's doing very well on the millions, by the way, on a yearly revenue. When I went to when I went to Texas, and I saw all these companies. These companies, they're all doing over $1 million on a cleaning business. So for the food truck, it was I think I paid $15,000 for a whole business.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah. So I'm like, I cannot lose with this.
Yeah. How much was it monthly? What was it making monthly, or is it yearly? What do you calculate?
I think yearly he was making about $60,000.
Yeah.
Revenues.
Yes.
And that's why he wanted to sell. He wasn't doing all that great.
Yeah, so now I have a question though, because I hear you want to do 7 times your yearly sales. Let's say you sell a business, and your business makes $60,000. You do 6 times that.
I think that depending upon what kind of business you have, it's a little different.
Oh, gotcha.
A restaurant is a lot different than if you buy a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Or if you buy an e-commerce business, it's all a bit different.
Yeah.
I don't look at it that way. I look at it, well, you're making $60,000. I can get this for $15,000.
Yeah.
I have an ego the size of Florida. So it's
a good thing to have.
If you tell me you're making 60, I know.
Yeah.
I won't say I know. In my head, I think I can triple that.
Okay.
Because I think that I can do better. I went and saw you doing your business. I know I can charge this for that. I can do a little better marketing. I can do a little better this and that. So I can probably make 3 times what you tell me. If I'm paying $15,000 for it, it's a given.
Yeah.
And I literally bought it and parked it in my house for months before I started doing it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know shit about the food trucking business. I literally got the money.
Yeah.
I love the whole
idea.
The idea. I said, I'll do it. I'll buy it. And I got it. And then I started. And then indeed, he was doing it full time. I was doing it part time. And I made 3 times what he made.
Damn, this is kind of crazy. But I really like that. So you basically, you came, you saw, you bought, and made more money. Damn. how did you approach the guy? You just like, hey, I want to buy this, or you heard from him, or you just were like, hey, I kind of want to buy it, but I'm, what was the like? Can I just walk somewhere in and be like, hey, how much?
That's how I do it. So we go to Entrepreneur Social Club, and so I sniff, I listen to a lot of businesses. Whatever interests me, I'm gonna approach and we go and start talking.
Yeah.
And so this guy, literally, that was the second time I went there, and I love the churros, were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I said, this is a great place. Can you get me inside? Super nice guy.
Yeah.
He got me inside of the kitchen. I looked at it. It was brand new back then, so it was even better.
My kitchen is not that nice.
I'm like, man, this is phenomenal. So I start asking some numbers. I start, asking some things. And I said, I don't have one of these in St. Pete. Do you want to partner up? Simple as that.
Yeah.
And he said, no. Right away, he said, no, this is my baby. I'm doing it Tampa, and this is my only thing. And that was it. I left a business card.
Yeah.
And I went on. I might have gone there a couple more times with my kids. And then a year later, he called me. He approached me.
Oh, so he reached out to you.
He reached out to me and said, hey, remember you wanted to buy it? Or perhaps you wanted to partner up? I'm selling it. And then I gave him a number he didn't like.
Yeah.
And then later on, I even lowered my offer, and I ended up buying it for, to buy a business for $15,000 back in 2017, towards the end of 17. I mean, that was unheard of. I mean, it's cheapest,
It sounds like a really good steal. Like you got $15,000, and you're making 60, and you just like do it for 1-2 years. You definitely get your monies back, and it's like being independent, doing your own thing. It sounds very romantic, and I hear it like from many people. Many people want to have a food truck,
Food trucking is not easy, brother. Food trucking is a hard thing. Sometimes I put my head through a food truck, and they say taco, which is very common, right?
Yeah, taco.
And they have tomatoes and lettuce, and they have to carry, all 3 type of meats, and it is insane. The prep that you do for that, I didn't have to do any of it. I bought it already frozen. I had a refrigerator. We pulled it out, we fry it, and we delivered it. So it was very simple, and yet it was a lot of work. So I can imagine the amount of prepping you do for other type of things. So I know people come to me all the time. I want to do a food truck, and I give you my knowledge. I help you out as much as I can. I think it's a good entryway for some young people that wants to get into the restaurant business. Some local guys are doing phenomenal. I know. Funnel Vision is one of my favorite food trucks, and they do great. I think he just bought 3. I think they have 3 in town.
Damn, that's a good amount.
Yeah, and they do sweets and salty stuff, and it's very, very good. Yeah. So I know a lot of the food truckers. Some of these people were doing this shit for years, man. Like 20 years food trucking. I'm like, man, I don't want to do it for 60 years, but good for you.
Yeah, on that note though, like you said, like COVID made it stop. On the one side, I'm just like, okay, you switched the business model, and you're only doing events. Mm-hmm. It sounded nearly like, okay, you should have gotten back to the old school, where it's like you don't doing events, but you're doing locations.
So there was a time in which it was a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know how bad it was gonna get, how good it was gonna get, when was it gonna get back to normal.
Yeah.
So I listed it for sale. Somebody offered me the right amount of money.
Yeah.
And I sold it.
Perfect.
I didn't have a romance towards it.
Yeah.
I actually, now that I did it, it was fun. It was, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
I didn't need it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like if I don't do this shit, I can pay my mortgage. Yeah. I said, well, we move on to the next one.
I kind of like that, like having like the numbers, or being like more distance off the thing. Where I'm like very attached to this, and I'm very attached to my video work and whatever. Yeah. But it's like you're more like, okay, you're just checking the numbers. I might do something else. How do you approach now that new business? Where are you now very detached, or is there a passion, or what is the involvement there?
It's a little different with this business. For the first time, I actually have employees.
Yeah.
So then people are not things. So now I'm thinking more vested on, man, I got to keep these people employed.
Yeah.
So it's a little more, you don't want to be romantic about the business, but you do want to treat people like people, So now this is a bit different for me, because in the past the business I've had is kind of a solopreneur type of situation.
Yeah.
I do have a couple employees with my food truck, but part timers, school, high school kids, things like that.
They don't care if
they don't.
Next job, whatever.
But these people, this is a livelihood. This is how they earn their living.
Yeah.
So now it's a bit more. Man, I wanna get you guys full time. I wanna be able to get you guys 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Everyone. So it's a bit more intricate. And you don't want to treat people like things. Yeah. People are people.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm faced with this situation now where I'm not romantic about the business itself. It's not I'm passionate about cleaning.
Yeah.
But I certainly am passionate about providing providing work for these people.
It's definitely a very good thing to do, because most people, I think, like, I don't know, maybe you need to be like that, because like I feel like with the video world I do too much, like I could charge for X, Y, and Z, and just like for a wedding, for example, they don't really have the budget, they don't really want to do that, and they're just like, hey, just film this and film that, and I'm like, I have to film it anyways, because in the end they're asking about this thing and I have to put it in the edit. It will make my job easier, but I'm too passionate about it, and I maybe let money on the table and being too nice. But it's the right thing to do, because like if I don't film it, it's gone. It never will happen on a wedding. This is a big no-go. So I'm just shooting myself in the foot by being two numbers. But it should be, maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's a tough situation. And I'm facing it with my business today. I could. One of the things that we're very proud of is the product we delivered. Like I've never had a complaint. My girls come in and clean. Yeah. Everybody tells me, man, I thought I knew how to clean until you came and cleaned my house.
Yeah.
And so that's a great thing, right? But then you go to a seminar and you start seeing things, how, man, baseboards. We do baseboards like it's normal.
Yeah.
Some people are charging extra for baseboards.
Yeah.
Some people are charging extras for refrigerators cleaning. Some people are charging extra. So I'm thinking, man, so I can come in and I can do less.
Yeah. Make more.
But then there's that thing, man, I want to just be the best.
Yeah, the experience.
I can imagine that happens to me, and I'm not even the one cleaning. You know what I mean? But it can happen. I can see if you are passionate about video, taking videos and photography, you want the perfect thing.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing is to find the middle. So where you're not like when
lens stand imperfections, you're like, just sell this. So I'm like,
when you tell me this is not perfect, I'm like, my goodness, this is perfect. You know what I mean?
So cut in half, maybe. The bottom needs to go in my hat.
I get it. That's where you come in. So I think you got to find a fine line in between.
Yeah.
I think if nobody's putting it upside down.
Yeah.
It's on the bottom. You can even put in the description, this is not,
a little bit
defective, whatever. Yeah. And there's a market for everything. There's a market for, like I think I told you earlier, people buy secondhand clothing.
They do
all the time. So there is a market for everything. So I think that there's got to be a fine line between revenue, productivity, and you also want to get paid, right? So if you're a photographer and you're the best, then you got to charge premium.
Yeah.
But who wants to pay premium when Jose from the corner
can do it for
half of that shit?
Yeah.
Obviously, the difference. But if you're the groom paying for all of it, you don't really care about much of the. Or maybe you don't understand
it's maybe once in a lifetime. It's really depending on like the market. That's also like a good topic too, because like I see like the cleaning and I'm like, dang, I always wanted that, And not gonna lie, it's like just look around. I have a lot of stress, the wife had the accident, working, and it's like moving stuff from A to B, and it's. Having this service is very nice, but also the market is like kind of tough. Like at least for me, on the one side I had a very good month and I had a couple good months beforehand, and I'm like, does it stay the same? How is the market for you? How do you predict the market? How do you see things going?
Don't have the answer. Because I just got this in October.
Yeah.
So I haven't even gone a full year to know the ups and downs. I know the summer is a bit slow.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that it's taking me longer to grow customer customers wise, like clients wise, it's taking me a little longer than I thought. I thought, with my marketing, with my thing, I can probably grow it nicely. But then again, I bought it, and then 3 months later, I took off for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then
and now you're going to travel again.
And then I'm going again. So it's, one of those things that I know why it's taking me longer. Obviously, I'm not putting the effort, I'm not putting the time, I'm not investing enough. So is it a tough market? Yes, there's a lot of people do it really cheaply.
Yeah,
people will come in and clean your home and do it, for pennies and dollars. We pride ourselves to say that we are the best.
Yeah,
you always gonna have the same people coming to your place to clean, which is a big thing.
Yeah,
if you go to a little bigger company than me, you don't know who comes this week or this month. There's always different people coming to your house. I think the house is a private thing. You don't want everybody to come in.
It is very weird. Like even like the idea of like having like a handyman coming or an electrician or AC guy. Yeah, gotta watch what he's doing. And they are like highly qualified people. And it's like we talked about that in the meetup. It's like. It's a weird thing. You said like the ladies are afraid about being on social media, and then it's like also the guy who's hiring you is afraid that they are stealing. Like there's all those stereotypes. It's like what is your experience, and talk a little bit.
I don't think that I ever worry about that.
Yeah,
I don't think the stealing is a thing.
Yeah,
I've never had any issues. I don't know that people
quality
ask me.
People doesn't matter.
I think it's just a matter of trust, right?
Yeah.
So I think when they come in for the first time, if you're used to your home clean, then it's just a matter of, if you give me a chance, you're gonna be my client. Yeah. That because they come in, they're warm, they're nice girls. They do what they're supposed to. That you don't see them on the phones doing shady things. And then the second time they come, then it's the same people all the time. And now they have a relationship with the owners. Yeah. And now it's like they even ask them by name. Hey, when is Paula coming over? Or things like that.
Small talk. And everything.
So it's I don't know that I've had any issues with the stealing thing. I just think it's more of a trust thing.
Yeah. I think like on this point I should to set the stage. Like I never had like somebody come to me clean, because like I grew up really like terribly kind of, and like lived in Germany without parents, and then 10 years ago my dad calls me, I'm your father, never had family. Nice. Really weird. I'm just from shit to something. That's kind of like my story. Coming from here to there.
Like shit to something. You should write a book.
Something. It's quite something. But basically the goal is like to, get the next thing, improve and become better. But I'm like, it would be the goal. So that's basically, if I would hire somebody, that would be my key worries. But I'm also like not the target, because like it seems like you want to have people who already know the value of like somebody else cleaning for me and already had the experience.
So normally, like someone like me, so I've had cleaning people coming to clean for the last 15 years.
Damn.
So I've had, all sorts of different companies. Then I stopped for a year or two. Because we got pissed off about something. Nothing stealing, but maybe they did not a good job. Maybe I thought they were ripping me off. So I stopped, and then I cleaned. And then 6 months later, I talked to my wife at the time and said, hey, let's do it again.
Yeah.
I don't want you to clean. I don't want to clean. Let's hire some. So it's always kind of back and forth. So like me, if you're used to people coming in, it's just a matter of who's coming in to clean. And if not only who,
the special mates,
not only who, but who comes every month.
Yeah,
because that's one pet peeve that I did not like about my previous cleaning company. I literally did not know who was gonna come and clean the next time. So there was always different people. There are different styles. So we want to be consistent, and we're gonna have, for now, I'm sure that as we grow, that's gonna be tougher. But at least for now, you're going to have the same cleaning people every single time, and you're going to have consistency. Everybody, every time you come, if we come the beginning of a month, by the next day they clean, they came, because that's how we do it.
Yeah. Okay. Now I got a couple questions. Like, how often? So I never had a cleaning service, so I have absolutely zero experience. What is a good price? How often do they need to come? How often do you want them to come? What is included? What is not included? What are like all the basic stuff? Because like it seems like 15 years, you got some experience.
Oh yeah.
You know what you like. Tell us.
So normally, you're going to be paying between $40 and $60 an hour.
Okay, that's decent.
That's so. If you have 2 cleaners coming in, and then you do the math. So if it's, let's say you do 40 an hour, which is the lower. If you have a nice house, it's clean, easy. So it's $40 an hour. So the 2 girls come in, so it's 80 by the hour, so 40 each. So 80 times 3 hours, that's your price.
Yeah.
So in the high end, then you pay a little more.
Yeah.
Then you have extras. Do you want to get your refrigerator clean? Do you want the baseboards? We included, but I do charge extra for refrigerators, ovens, things of a nature. And then there is how often you want them. We have clients that come once a month.
Yeah.
Then we have clients that come every 2 weeks. That's kind of I had actually a couple of clients that we do weekly cleanings. So it depends kind of what some people are really neat and they want to be clean all the time. Some people don't, they think once a month is fine. If you have kids, then they do, it's probably better if you come often. When I did cleanings, it was always once a month. And then we maintain it, and then
so from an entrepreneurial aspect, where you see the most benefits, like when you're like, okay, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly?
I think
like bang for the buck, like just like getting the
I think bi-weekly is best from an entrepreneur
and company owner.
The reason why is because once we come in and clean, there's always we spend more time the first time, right? Because we got to do a big deep. You never clean it before. No, a lot of times it's been a while since they clean, so we come in and we do a deep clean, top to bottom. It could take 3, 4, 5 hours. But once we get a handle of a place, then bi-weekly is great because the ladies come in, they clean, and then you don't have that much time to make a mess, and then we clean again. That's probably the best, depending upon what your lifestyle is. If you have kids, I recommend you every 2 weeks.
It's a weekly deep clean.
every 2 weeks is probably good. But for the average person, monthly is probably best.
Monthly, okay.
Yeah.
So what would you budget in there, like as a regular, or what would be a monthly for me, like right now with like the house has like a couple of rooms. It's a little bit messy, but just
so I think the first time we probably spent 4 hours here. And then I'm what is it, 2 bedrooms?
Yeah, 2 bedrooms.
I haven't walked around, but I'm thinking you're probably gonna be on the 160, 170 on a monthly basis, something like that.
That's not too shabby. So like for 160, let's round it up. Let's be crazy, and it would be like 200-300 max, kind of then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is like what you would charge like for like a monthly or bi-monthly roughly, if it's like a little bit dirtier.
Yeah. So bi-weeklies, and I before I kind of
we're just eyeballing
before I kind of on camera tells you numbers, I like to walk around, but I'm thinking that it's always a little cheaper if we do bi-weekly than if we do monthly. The monthly is if we know, because that's what people kind of don't get. I got clients that tells me come and clean, we'll do monthly, right? And then we go clean, and then they want to skip a month. So what happens is the next time we come, we're going to spend the same amount of time the one we
if not more, maybe
first time that we did it. So then I charge you what I charged you the first time, and then they'll go, well, would you charge me? You said it was going to be less monthly, but now you're skipping. Now you're doing bi-monthly. It's all about the time of the girls, and so one thing that I've done to protect ourselves from that kind of scenarios is we do a flat, and then we do an hourly after it. We hardly go after it, but there are times where we do. And if we do, then because people tell me, I always ask, from 1 to 10, how clean is your house? Clean being the cleanest, 1 being the worst. Everybody goes, oh, I clean all the time. I'm a 9. I'm an 8. And then we go in and it's a freaking complete mess. And my girls, I calculated 2 hours, 3 hours, and it took us 5-6 hours. So
I'm a 4 right now. I'm not gonna lie, my life is so crazy. I'm happy that it's like somewhat.
Well, so and we're friends, so we can discuss things, whatever. But we can come in, we can do a semi-deep clean, and then we do a semi-deep clean next time, and then after that it will be nicer moving forward.
I kind of want to lean in a little bit more on the the benefits and how do you pitch people, or do you don't pitch people at all? But if you would pitch, how would you pitch?
So normally people are cost oriented.
Yeah.
It's always nicer to talk to people that have already
money.
Obviously, you can afford it, right?
Yeah.
No, somebody that have done cleaning services, because people have stories. Oh no, I had these ladies, but they moved, or I had this terrible. I've hired 4 different companies, and none of them have done a good job. So then we have a different conversation. This is what I offer you. This is what we do. So my pitch is simple. If you normally the leads that I get, people are already looking for cleaning services. So it's
easier.
It's easier. Being a guy, though, I've noticed that it's because I have a salesperson. It's a lady, and she seems to do a little better than me. There's something about cleaning that is associated with women, which is a terrible thing.
We got to be very, very careful now.
We don't want to get canceled. But there's something about it, and
magical.
People are more comfortable speaking about cleaning with a lady.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it makes sense, but there's also like, here's me, like, okay, how much does it cost me to like let's sweep and broom, and we're just like, okay, run the numbers, and we're just like, oh, about Roomba, that thing is like, it's half working, half not working. Then it's not going everywhere. The one that
I
is
have
like,
one of those. I run it every day in my house.
Yeah, I run it too. But it's like, now we have stairs, and then we have this. Now you spend $1,000, and I'm like, $1,000, and you're telling me it's 160 or 200ish.
Yeah,
that's like 5 months or
not only
6
that,
months?
but it's also
different.
I am a clean dude.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Sorry
better.
for this then.
No, you're fine, dude. But nothing when you come in and you have a clean home. There's something about your mind. You have they call it mental clutter.
Like clarity.
When you have a little more clarity, it's just something about your mood is better.
Yeah.
And then the time, dude. We just took 2-3 hours off you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If
whatever
not longer,
time.
because you're not a professional.
Yeah. So I think the pitch is simple. You want your house cleaned. This is it's mostly what I can do that the people that used to clean your house don't do. And I think it's a nice feature. People like the fact that the same people will come to clean your place.
Yeah. I usually my excuse for cleaning, so it's probably not ideal. Usually you should have a routine, but when I throw parties or I have a podcast, I usually prepare for it. So it's like it's my excuse. Like, now I have to clean, but now I'm running around. And today and the other day I was like so busy. I'm like, this morning meetup, and I'm like, could have already done the setup, and I'm just like, dang it, and I'm still like trying to clean. And it's like, oh, it would be nice to have somebody.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's always nice to have someone, dude.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's a matter of really, if you have the budget for it. Obviously, if you don't have the budget. In fact, when things go south, not that it has happened to me yet, because I don't.
You're pretty lucky, it seems.
I haven't had it. I haven't had it for that long, to where we go to a recession or something. Yeah. But I'm assuming just like loan services, right?
Yeah.
When we go through some downturn, the first thing that people stop doing is the extras. Like, they start
Netflix
doing their own lawns,
or whatever.
They start doing their own lawns. They start cleaning their own house themselves, things like that. So I'm assuming that's kind of how it goes. If you don't have it, then you stop it.
Yeah.
But if you have it, I think it's a must. And now that I own a cleaning business, my house is clean all the time.
Yeah. So what are the businesses that you would buy? Like, if you like, let's just not for like money or like looking at numbers, but you had your food truck, so you got that checked off, and that seems like a really fun thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, you didn't pick it up again after COVID.
Nope.
I'm like, it's kind of interesting. Why didn't you? But what were the things that you would be interested in buying? Like, just like fun.
I think this is a fun project.
Yeah.
I think this is a fun little project that I can probably get involved and make some cash of it. I think that when I saw that the art school, it's an art school by subscription.
Yeah.
Graphica is in downtown. That was a very interesting thing.
What do they do?
It's a subscription. You pay a monthly fee.
Yeah.
And you get access to school class. Art classes, and you also they provide all the utensils or whatever. What do you call that? Painting.
Brushes.
Tools, all the tools for painting. So they provide that. You come in. You every.
It's like kind of novelty. I think like it's
a novelty.
Yeah, it's like for people who want to do art, you have to be in a good place.
Absolutely. If you want to be, it's a peaceful thing as well.
Yeah.
If you're going through something and you just want to kind of get your mind away, and so you pay by month, and then you go to this place, and they provide all the utensils, all the tools to painting. They have classes every week, so you can pick and choose what classes you want to take. So I thought that was an interesting concept. I'm not in all the way.
Yeah.
It's more a little bit of capital, and I advise them every now and then.
Yeah.
We probably meet once a month for talk about marketing and things of that nature. So at this point, it's a matter of what interests me.
Yeah.
So
you're kind of looking for fun things that are like kind of decent.
I'm looking for things that are within my range.
Yeah.
Like I don't have millions of dollars to invest.
This is actually also like kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like the range.
Yeah. So I'm looking for
businesses.
something that that is accessible to my pocketbook, right? And things that I can add value to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking for people that are good people. They need a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
And that's I don't. A lot of times, just like I don't know shit about lenses.
Yeah.
But I know you. I like you. And the product seems to be good. There's a good margin. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like I like the product too. Like I said, like it's like, and I see my friends like selling a keyboard stand, for example, or I'm like, I don't know many people with keyboards in their shelf, but I know a lot of people with cameras. Like you probably have a camera.
Sure. Yeah.
You probably have maybe a lens, and if you're somewhat professional or like into the hobby, you have more than one lens.
Sure.
So that's like now we're talking how many lenses do you have, and that is like that's why it's also not stackable, because I know everybody has a different amount and there's different shapes, but I can cover 90% of the shapes and it looks universally good.
I also think that people that are into photography are passionate.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing, because when you're passionate, then you spend a lot of money on it.
It's like, the one lens that you see from here, on the red stand.
Yeah.
It's like $800. It's a big fat glass. It looks pretty.
So when you spend $800 on a lens like that, who cares if you spend $10 on one of these?
Yeah. In the beginning, it was like $15 on one, and I was like, okay, I just wanted to sell fast, and I was like, okay, if I put it at 10. Sells out. So some people told me $20, and I'm just like, I saw people buying worse stuff for more money,
I think so. That's the beauty of business, because once you pass that hurdle, that you kind of, you're in a position where you're selling, and money's coming steadily. Yeah. Then you switch your gear. It's no longer operations, but how can you monetize more? Yeah. So then you start doing packages. You get 3 packages, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and then obviously the more you sell, the more revenue you get, and then you start playing with that, and then you post like we talked. Yeah. The black is gonna go through the roof. Yeah. Or you had a nice color, aqua blue, that's selling more. Then you make packages with just that color. Yeah. So that's the beauty part. That's where it gets really fun.
Yeah. So this is like kind of also like the thing where I'm like, in the beginning I only had like one shape, and I was just showing like a bunch of prototypes, but in the beginning I was like, okay, I only have black and white, because like I think most sexy, easy to sell. Yes, and I believe in the too much is confusion, and there's
absolutely,
and there's that one rule, like not more than 3, or like 3 colors.
Yeah, people don't want to choose.
Yeah, choosing is confusion in a way.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah, so basically I was like, okay, I only sell those, and then once in a while I bought like a fun color, and I add that as once in a while there's a nice color, kind of sort of, and now I'm like, okay, got a new product, new quality, now I have to reassess the price, and I want to do that all after I come back from Colorado, and then they're like, okay, higher quality, maybe I can do the $15-$20, and maybe give the people who are like, previous buyers, I want to hook them up. They get like maybe a discount,
a percentage,
because like they bought the shitty ones, and I'm like, no, I want to hook them up and whatever.
There's a story of this about going back to selections, right? Yeah. I can't remember who did this experiment, but you went to a high-end restaurant, and once you were done, you walk out and there's a person there with a painting. Yeah. One painting. and they say, well, you want this painting because today we're giving this painting out to all the customers, and they say they grab the painting and they go out and they do like a survey. How happy are you with the painting? They go, oh my God, it's an amazing painting. It seems like it was made by an artist, and it was professionally made, and all these things. And then the next day they do the same experiment. There were 2 paintings, and they would let people choose which painting. So you got couples going, I want this, I want that one, and then they made an arrangement and picked one. And then they went through the survey again. And then there was another experiment with now 3 paintings. So the moral of the story is the more choices were given to them, the less happier they were. So at the end, when they filled the survey, the people that had 3 choices were the least happier, because they all second thought themselves. Oh my God, I wish I would have gone the horse. Or
I can see that. Like when you have too much options, it's like, did I buy the wrong one?
But the first ones were the happiest. They didn't have a choice. They saw what they got. They were happy just to fucking get the paint because they weren't expecting that. It was just it was kind of just fell from the sky. So that gives you a little bit of an explanation why you want to tell customers what they want, rather than give them so many options. I think eventually you want to give options, but the black and white thing is great.
So now I kind of want to transition into like the whole, like, you kind of made it. Like in my book, it seems like I don't know you too well, or the financials or whatever, but from the outside it looks like you made it. You kind of, now you're playing with like or not really playing because there's people involved, with the cleaning, but you're not in a position for like, okay, I gotta do this. It's like I want to do this, but I see that in our men's group where we're going for the meetup. There's like the entrepreneurs who already made it, and now they're doing all the fun things. And I'm just like, in my world right now, there's only the hustle. It's like only what makes me money. How can I scale? How can I get better? And it's like kind of do or die. And they are more like, okay, where do I go now? What is like, there's like the fun world. So what is your world right now? Because like, and why is it travel and all of that? What do you do for enjoyment?
So to kind of explain made it, right? I am absolutely 100% sure that I made it. But it has very little to do with my bank account. Gotcha. I made it because I grew up really poor in Venezuela. I lived there until I was 17. I moved here.
Dang, we should have talked about that. Why didn't we do? The more you know.
So I moved here at 16. Went to high school, went to college here, married my college sweetheart. I have 2 beautiful kids. Victoria is 18, just graduated high school. My son is 15. They're healthy, beautiful kids. I am unfortunately divorced. But I'm single. I have a roof over my head. I don't have to really worry about where my mortgage payment is coming from. So in a sense, that's what made me made it. It's not so much my bank account. It's just what I've accomplished in my life, and it's
like peace.
Have some to do with the money. What do they say? Money is not everything unless you have none. Because what happens is when you don't have any, that's all you think about. So that when you say it's not everything, the people that don't have say that's everything. It's the truth, because that's all you think about is where am I gonna make the money for the mortgage, for the car payments, for whatever. So, but once you pass that, you realize money is not gonna give you the happiness and peace. Once you get to a level where you don't have to worry about your car payments or your mortgage payments or how you're gonna pay this or that. Once you pass that, then there's a sense of you realize. That's who said that? Jim Carrey, I think he said that. He wishes everybody was rich and famous, so so that you realize, everyone realizes that money is not happy. It doesn't give you. It doesn't matter what I'll buy. It doesn't make me happy. Why am I traveling? Well, I found myself in my mid 40s. Kids are older.
Don't look like 40.
There you go. My kids are older. They don't want to spend much time with me anymore because they're teenagers, and I'm not as cool as I used to be. Which is understandable. So I don't work. So I have my business and I have the little things that I do. So I've decided that this year I'm gonna go to 10 countries. I've been in 4. So I'm gonna finish my 10 countries for the year. So that's kind of what I'm at right now. It's I'm in a very good spot. I'm blessed. I don't have $1 million. I don't have millions of dollars, but I'm certainly comfortable. I don't have to worry about where my mortgage, how I'm gonna pay my mortgage. I don't have to worry about my cars. I hustle, dude. I rent cars in Turo. I have 3 cars that I rent out. I have, I sell.
Well, I think like we should kind of explain that. Like, so what is the Turo car thing? Because like I kind of heard about it.
Sure, I have 2 Imprezas, Subaru Imprezas, and I have a Jeep. Yeah, those are my cars, and I rent them out on Turo.
That's a good way of like generating money. I was like thinking about renting out gear, and then I did it, but only privately, by friends that I trust, where now it comes back, and it's a good deal. I've done it
before. When I bought the food truck, I ended up having an extra car by mistake because I needed to buy a car. It wasn't a food truck; it was a trailer. So it was pulled by an SUV, and I had a Volvo. Yeah, so they couldn't pull my trailer, so I ended up buying a bigger SUV, and I had the Volvo. I'm like, what am I gonna do with it? So I started renting it, and kind of opened up my mind with it. That. Then I sold. Then COVID came. I sold it during COVID. I was killing it with just that one car renting.
Damn.
Because people.
There was something going on. I think there was like a high demand for cars.
People couldn't fly. People couldn't leave the country. People couldn't fly. So the cars were the thing. So I was making $100 a day, renting my little car. So then I sold the business. I ended up trading the SUV, and I don't know. About a year ago, I'm like, I'm gonna go back to Turo, and I bought 2 more cars, and I started renting them, and so far so good.
That's great. That's great stuff.
So I do shit. I'm not just laying around. Leaving of interest.
You still have multiple things going on.
I'm always hustling. I'm always trying to make a buck. I have kids that have to pay college for my daughter, for my son.
Ain't cheap in America.
No, not at all. So I still have a lot. I still have money-wise. I'm still working on it. Yeah, haven't made it yet. I'm still working on it, but I'm very comfortable and I'm blessed and I'm happy and I'm not complaining.
Yeah, no, I love it. Like I feel like nowadays it's like people. They have a lot of shit and they don't utilize it a lot. I see a lot with like camera gears, for example. Like I feel like I need this and I need that, and we call it gear acquisition syndrome. So you always feel like you need the next best thing, so that you get hired and you get the work, and then there's like you see on YouTube Africa and whatever, and they're just like building out of pipes equipment for balancing cameras, and it's just like they utilize more than we have, and it's just like I have a lot of gear that sits on the shelf, for example. I could rent it out, and I'm afraid and whatever. And I feel like the efficiency that's like a thing where I have to improve. Like I can't run multiple cameras at the same time, but I could also rent out more cameras.
Oh yeah.
So
is that a thing, renting cameras?
Yeah, like for weddings and stuff like that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, so like my one lens there, it's like that is long and whatever. It's $100 a day.
Is there a platform that helps you with that, or
there's Share Grid, but there's a weird fear of like, what if my $2,000 lens gets broken?
Well, so. With Turo, for instance, I had an instance where one of my cars was a total loss. So just like when you rent a car in Hertz or Enterprise or whatever, you pay insurance. Some people pay even extra insurance. Yeah. So I had a car that was total. Turo took care of everything. So if you don't use it yourself, you take the risk, right? What if my lens breaks or whatever? But if you're using a platform, I'm sure you probably have to look into it. But there is a sort of insurance that people pay to rent it. And it probably costs $2-3 for them, but it protects you in case something happens. So I will look into it.
Yeah. So your move would be like, you gotta rent it if you don't use it. Would that be a good rule?
Listen, it's all about peace. Is it? Are you going to be? Are you gonna? Is it worth the extra $50? I don't know. Whatever money amount you put to piece.
But I mean, like a lens that can make me $100 a day.
Yeah, I fucking rent it.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm not using it unless it's like once or twice a month.
Yeah, I will 100% rent it if you can mitigate the risk of it being damaged and you get your money back. If you can mitigate that risk, I don't see why you wouldn't. Another thing that you were talking about, the entrepreneurs that we meet up and the guys that have done well, and you're young and you're hustling. Yeah. That always advice is just spend less, man. Spend less. One of the things that have helped me at this stage is my expenses are very little.
Yeah. My expenses were also very little for a long time. You know, like
And
when I mentioned the mortgage, $800, you know.
That's not bad.
St. Pete, unheard of. People are here paying $3,000, and I'm like
Absolutely, yeah.
10 minutes with a bike from downtown,
Yeah.
or the beach. So
Yeah.
I feel like prime location, and we got just lucky, bought the house before COVID.
Sure. Yeah.
And now I'm just like, ugh. Now got the same pressure like other people. I'm just like, got to step up my game.
To go to the next house?
Yeah.
Is that your thought? To buy the next house?
Was one of the thoughts, but now it's like right now it's just like I need to step up my game, you know, or figure out what is the best move, you know, scale the business. That's what I did. So I hit $10,000, you know, and I'm like, okay, got that level. Now I've got more time, and I'm like, okay, let's pick that.
I think you gotta always keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whatever is working for you, do it. Because if you make $10,000 1 month.
It's not next month, you
It's
know.
not
It's
next
average is like 4
So if
to
you're
5.
making that and you made it 1 month, and you can make it again another month, you can make it again the next month, then what you do is you start putting money aside. And then that money aside will give you that tranquility that you need.
Yeah.
And then you can focus on some things. You know what I mean? Like I
think that was the thing, like where it's like, okay, I had a couple good months. Now I'm feeling like more like a human.
Yeah, of course. But you know, so, and it seems like that's kind of what I see you, right? Because it's America, right? So instant gratification is a thing. We all want shit happen, you know, immediately, right? But so I'm looking at what you did there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at what you're doing in terms of, you know, your business.
Yeah.
That's not enough. This isn't enough.
Yeah.
So I think you need to season whatever it is that's working for you a little more.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna get to a point where, okay, so it's been 3 months of $10,000.
Yeah.
4 months of $10,000. I can put away 5. So I have $20,000 now. You know, $20,000 will definitely help me to do whatever it is that I need to do here. And then you have proven concepts. Then you start doing more of that. So basically, you know, it's. I think you got to kind of
drill deeper.
Yes, and that's nothing wrong with hustling. If you're hustling hard right now, why would you slow down because you make $10,000?
Yeah, I will not slow down.
If anything,
it's not enough. I can tell you that there's more. bills.
If anything, go deep on that and try to make 15.
Yeah, because like everything is split too, and then there's the third person, the government.
Oh, of course, there's taxes. I get it, 100%. We all pay taxes in this program. In this place, it is. But that's the thing. So you know, watch your expenses. Make as much money as you can right now. That's you don't have any kids. That's a huge thing.
But he kind of wanted them, you know.
Well,
but then the accident and all. Yeah.
But you know, you might come back to it, right?
Yeah.
And if
we at least keep trying,
it's always a good thing. And that's game over, man. Kids are game over. You know,
But here's the thing. I saw a reel, and it was like a local entrepreneur, and he was like, okay, when the kid came out, you know, game was on. It was the opposite, you know. And I feel like, would I have more fire and dedication if there would be more pressure, you know? Because like, you know, you see from that aspect where it's like, I feel like I'm comfortable in a way where it's like I know what to get away with, you know. And I'm like, that makes me a little bit lazy. And maybe if I had more pressure, you know, pressure keeps me going, you know, but it's not healthy.
So I can debate it both ways. So I'm a good debater. So I can debate it. So I was hustling hard when my daughter was born. Yeah. I was 27. And I was, you know, we had rental properties. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was doing back then, just real estate. So I was buying, houses. I was renting properties. I was a landlord. I did everything myself. I also had a full-time job.
You have some experience, apparently.
I do. I bought my first house when I was 20.
Damn.
Yeah. So then I as I told you, I had leukemia when I was 20. So 6 months after I bought my first house, I was diagnosed with leukemia.
And you're whipping out that now, and I'm just like, you got all those cool stories, and here we're talking boring business.
We'll do another episode. How about that? So at 26, you know, I think we had like 4 houses that we were renting. And also I was full-time employee. I just moved into a bigger house, obviously, because we had a girl. So, you know, we had a baby. So 3,000 square feet house. Beautiful home too. Yeah. My ex still has it.
You know how the sharing goes.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know?
Sharing is caring. Then my son was born 3 years later. So I was hustling a lot. And then, so looking back, I feel that I could have slowed down just to live more of the moment, especially because the kids are only kids for a short time. Then they're not kids anymore. So I almost regret the amount of hustling because that enabled me, or perhaps that took time with the kids. Too much time. So looking back, you're healthy, you're strong, you're on your 30s.
You just said you have leukemia. I'm just like, how you're healthy and how you're strong.
Remember, I had leukemia on my 20. By 22, it was gone.
Yeah.
Thank God it was gone. And then from then on, I did triathlons and I worked out and so 26 to 33, I had the 2 kids. 33 is when I got divorced. So I was hustling. I was doing a lot of things, and I think that kind of took a lot of time from my kids.
Yeah.
Looking back, it's easy, right, to look back and do things a bit different. But I probably could have lived. I think I would have gotten to the same place without the extra 4 houses.
Yeah.
Maybe a half of it. If we had 13 at one point, maybe 7 would have been a good time to stop. Then, of course, there's divorce and life shit happens and things like that. But I think that what I recommend kids, that, hustle before the kids. That's your time to hustle. And then when you have kids, try to freaking spend more time with the kids.
Yeah.
Because it goes fast. And then when it's gone, it's gone. There's no way that Victoria is going to go back to 7. Yeah. Victor will go back to 3. And those are great years.
I believe it.
And so my recommendation to young couples is, if you don't have kids yet, man, this is the time. Yeah. This is the time to hustle.
There's a lot of people right now who are like, oh, everything's bad, and it's like, I think like most of it's mindset,
Absolutely.
And it's like the economy is bad, everything's bad, we're in a recession. I'm just like, never been better, So I'm like, how would it be if it wouldn't be, So I'm just.
So how long have you been in this country?
Probably 8 years, 9 years.
Okay, so you missed the 08 recession.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think I did. I came from Germany. I basically finished my job.
What year was it?
I came 2014.
Okay, so you missed the recession.
Yeah.
So the last big recession we had was 08. 08 was bad.
Yeah.
Especially for people that did real estate.
Yeah.
People that bought homes. There was a bubble. People lost jobs. People were losing homes. Literally, foreclosure was through the roof. Those are bad times. And yet you can still make money on those times.
Yeah.
I think right now, I don't know what to say to people that think that this is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, unemployment is super low. You're in the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
Of course, that's debatable, right? But I think that we're in a great spot.
Everything has good and bad. Like I say, like Germany is like everything's middle class, everything is great, health insurance, whatever. But it's boring. Here's like everything is extreme, extreme shit or extreme good. It's like.
Yeah, dude. So 2008 was the last recession. It's 2024. It's been a long time since a recession. The internet have put ways of hustling that have never existed in the past.
Yeah.
I think it's a mindset. I think once you see perspective. I mean, look at you. You just went through. You just went through a hardship.
Yeah.
You've been here for 10 years. You married. You married, right?
Yeah. We got married. Had our honeymoon. Came back from the honeymoon.
And then shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens.
So and now shit's not happening anymore. Yeah. Perhaps you have some residual from that, but the worst is it happened.
It gets better. It's getting better.
So it's all about perspective, dude. It's all about perspective. Sometimes when I think about I'm having a bad day, I think, back in 2021, 2001, I'm plugged to a fucking bag of chemotherapy going through my veins. She had this, neon green going through my body.
Yeah.
I have no hair, no eyebrows, that was a bad day.
Yeah.
I think I hardly have bad days now.
Yeah.
My days are great. Even when they're not great, they're still great.
Yeah. Would you say now you actually enjoy life more because of it? Because like it's kind of like a weird thing, I think. Like because you go through, I assume, I don't know, you go through all those stages,
So I don't have a short answer for this. You have to kind of bear with me. Yeah. And I think that this question is presented to me on a regular basis. When people ask, when people find out that I had leukemia, I was literally 18 months without working. I couldn't work, I went to 150 pounds. I'm 6'1". You can imagine that. So basically, they gave me 80% chances of dying.
Yeah.
So I had
It's not a good number. Like, it's like...
It's a terrible number.
50-50?
Terrible number.
50-50 is already bad.
I was oblivious of the situation, which helped me go through it. Because I think looking back, if I had known what I was getting into... sad, but I probably would have said, just give me a pill. Let's skip the whole fucking thing. Let me just go, because I suffered quite a bit. There was a lot of pain and suffering, and it sucked. But I lived.
Good mindset. But basically made you.
Well, good mindset, being oblivious, and having a good support system around my girlfriend at the time. I ended up marrying her. She was amazing. My family came from Venezuela and helped me out. I became very good friends with my doctor. That helped a lot as well. So. Then you go out of it, right? You're 22, you come back to life, you're still in the same house. My mind said, man, my girlfriend was from Maine, and I literally thought about becoming a fisherman and go to Maine and fish.
I mean, it would be cold and it would be
like
workable.
one of those things. Like, I just wanna, I'm glad that I'm alive.
Yeah.
I just want a very simple life. That's kind of my main thought. And then the country, the system starts trapping you again.
Yeah,
and then you buy the next house for investment. And then you buy the next one. And then you buy the bigger car. And then you want to go on vacations. And then you have a daughter. And then you just get...
Life happens.
Then you get trapped. And you forget about what it was to be, to be almost dying, to be sick and all that. So now, Victor... 44-year-old Victor, thinking back, now I am more of a perspective guy than I was, because so it's like a up and down. It was down, then I survived. It was good, and then you forget, and then there's a youth. You're fucking 27. You look phenomenal. You do a triathlon and you do well, and then you have a daughter. You married. Had a big wedding. People came from different countries. Beautiful wedding. So you feel like you're the king of the world again.
Invisible.
There's nothing that can get me, and thank God I did not get sick again.
Yeah.
But then now that I'm a little more seasoned, then I have an 18-year-old daughter who had a car accident about a month ago. Broke her wrist, but it was terrible. If you see the pictures of it,
I can just assume when you hear the news or whatever,
dude. And then you see the pictures of a total car, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm glad that she's okay." Then perspective hits you, and then so I have bad days for a long time, but I think at this point in my life, I'm just more aware of the good days, and I'm aware. I look back at when I was sick. I look back at COVID times. I look back at my daughters when I found out that she had an accident. You got some shit happening. So that's perspective. And I think that people that lose that perspective, I think it's bad.
Yeah.
I think you should always have perspective.
I feel like it's kind of like a weird thing where it's like I'm an optimist and I'm like a delusional optimist. I'm just like when Rachel was like in the hospital and the accident happened, her dad drove down here 20 hours, whatever, and it was his birthday, and everybody was assuming she will never write her name, or sign or do anything or even speak. Other people would be like, it's 1 or 2 years later, and it's like they would be just drooling. It's like that level of bad, And basically what happened was like, it was his birthday, and she was like, hey, we have a birthday card. Can you sign your name? And the doctor was like, she probably cannot sign. And she was signing her name. And I was like, what? And I believed she could do that, and I believed she will be fine, and I believed all that, but the parents, very pessimistic, very analytical, and I'm just like, no, this is not gonna happen. This will be fine. This will be that. I did not even believe for a second like she will be not like the same, even though she was like a little child. I believed like she will have control of her hand just by happenstance.
That's phenomenal. Like that. So that. It's good for you to have conversations with her. Yeah. Because there was a time when I had my little house had 3 steps, to go to the front door. Kind of like you have steps.
Yeah. Not a fan of, but
I had 3 steps. Not a fan, right?
Yeah.
So I will come back. For my last treatments were outpatient. So I will go to a place, get chemotherapy, come back home.
Yeah.
It will take me fucking 15 minutes to get from my car to my room.
Damn.
And I remember parking my car, not me. Somebody will drive, and I'm like, I didn't fathom that eventually I can just run through the fucking house. And I'm like, I would never be able to do that. Like in my head, when you're so weak, it's just so hard to imagine. So I got up. I fucking went to the steps. 15 minutes later, I'm laying in my bed. And then you fast forward 2 or 3 years and you run, dude. Yeah. You run. It's like your body just gets, better and life gets better. So it's tough. I get it, especially if you're a parent. There's a sense of fuck, I'm fucked, But it's all about perspective, man. Yeah. I think perspective is a big thing. I think when you think you're having a bad day, think about the real bad days.
Yeah.
That gets me
fired up again.
My daughter, we were in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she's crying because she's gonna have a cast. She's graduating 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And she'll have a cast.
It's the worst thing.
And I go.
You're kind of lucky right there.
I go, dude. I'm glad you're fucking alive.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you see your car. You see,
at that age, you also don't understand.
And then she gave me a lesson. Then she goes and she says to me, Dad, I think I have the right to feel shitty for a minute or two. Yeah. And I looked at her. I said, you do. Go for it.
Yeah.
That sucks. You're gonna have a cast in your graduation.
Yeah.
She didn't, by the way. But then so there's a little bit of allow yourself to feel whatever feeling you're feeling, even if it's sad. But you got it. There's the point where you snap.
Yeah.
And the best way to snap is perspective, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I think about having a bad day, I really think of a bad day. My mom died in 2021. That was a bad day. If I have a flat tire, fuck, are you kidding me? And then you have white people's problem, as I say. Perhaps you can delete that. You have first world problems.
I gotta clean my house by myself. I don't have Victor doing it for me. Goddamn.
Dude, I was pissed last week because my ladies couldn't come on a day I wanted to come.
Oh.
Because we double schedule. I was pissed with my scheduler.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, my daughter's graduating. I have a barbecue in my house, and my house is not clean.
Yeah.
And so it's first world problems. And then, of course, I ended up cleaning the shit myself. Who cares?
Yeah, no, this is a good thing to do. I mean, like, I think, like, the biggest thing that I just took away from, like, the time when the accident happened or whatever, you have better chances when you're optimistic. In a way, it's like, whenever I was like, I could be, like, pessimistic about the future.
You're right.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, exactly. I could be pessimistic about the future and be like, oh, this is not gonna work, or I just couldn't make the chances, But I'm like, and whenever I'm like in a good mood and I'm like looking for opportunities, I see things that I would never have seen if I would play it safe or if I would be like too pessimistic. And I'm like, I cannot predict the future, but the more delusional I am in a way, the more opportunities I see. And I love
the delusional part. I love that.
Yeah, but it's powerful because like sometimes like, people are like, who would expect that it would be on a multi-million-dollar yacht randomly, by doing a podcast? This is literally how it happened. I'm like, let's do a podcast, and I did the podcast for a while. Then I became the guy who was like, oh yeah, he's a podcast guy. And then they're like, podcast didn't really make money in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I got sponsors where it's like, hey, you reach out for a hot sauce or whatever, get $1,000. That's but it's not really worth the money to do it the time wise.
Sure, yeah.
But you become the go-to guy, and now it makes money because you get a referral.
Sure,
and then this and then that, and it's like, oh yeah, it paid off in other ways. But you wouldn't, if you would be a pessimist, you're like, nah, the numbers don't make sense.
Who the fuck? This is a simple thing.
Yeah.
Who do you like to hang out? Who do people want to hang out with? Pessimists or positives?
True.
Simple. Who cares? I don't want to fucking hang out with somebody who's pessimist. I just don't. Even family members, they're always kind of having a hard time. There's always, I'm like, it's boring. It's like, I don't even feel good.
Yeah.
So people say,
because like you can argue with them, but it doesn't lead anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't lead anywhere. People remember how you made them feel. Yeah. And if I'm talking to someone and they have that mindset of, negative mindset. Yeah. Then it drains you down, and that's how you feel. Yeah. You talk to someone who is always upbeat, and you want to hang out with that person more. 100%. So in just as a basic, we're all humans. We all want the connections. You're gonna have less connections. Yeah. People are gonna want to hang out with you less if you're not. If you're just always a Debbie Downer. It's just the way it goes. Or you're gonna be with other Debbie Downers, and then in between yourself, I'm gonna be a fucking down spiral situation.
Yeah, it is very sad. I kind of I always say to Rachel, my favorite example. It's like batteries. You have a fully charged battery, and you connect it to an empty battery. Charge one goes down, but if you it's you become the weakest that you associate with, what is really sad, because I want to uplift other people too, and it's but I will drain myself in the act of doing, and it's not always financially this is right now a bad decision for me, staying with the wife with the medical and all the drama. I'm I don't care, I'll lift you up, I make it happen, of course, but it's there's a human aspect, but there's also if you don't have to hang out with those people and you have no reason, you don't want to drain yourself with those people.
You do not that is a mathematics. It's been proven time and time again. Simple. If you do it yourself, you don't have to do it now, but think about the 5 closest people to you. Whatever, Michael, Richard, you name him. You can ask him how much you make, and everybody's going to tell you. You are about 99% sure you are about an average of the 5 closest people to you. That's a mathematics. So you want to hang out with people. If you're in a room and you're the smartest guy, you're in the wrong fucking place. You're in the wrong.
You feel good, but
you're in the wrong place. I sound like a broken record with my kids because I do this all the time with them. Yeah. Because I love them. I want them to do well. So I'm always dude. The people I hang out with, I'm always the least successful, the least,
In this room, you are the most. But I'm not gonna.
I'm in the wrong fucking room.
Actually, I got some millions back there. But
no, dude, I'm always looking for who is going to challenge me. Yeah. Where am I going to learn? Where I can add value to you? Yeah. Where can I be more valuable to you? Every time, every interaction, I said it earlier, I'm always trying to add value. Yeah. And I look for people the same way. And I want to be able to have this synergy of, this is what I'm proposing. Yeah. And I want you to propose to me. And let's lift up together.
Yeah, I love that. When you look for win-wins, you see more opportunities. Absolutely. Then it's a win-take or whatever, because it always bites you in the back. But damn, you got quite the story with the leukemia, going through the entrepreneur, and I would love to have you back on the podcast, because we're already talking for a long time. Yeah. It's an hour and 30, and I think we should wrap it up. Sounds good. I learned a lot, and there's a lot of wisdom that you have and experience that clearly shines through. And I'm very, very curious about where everything is going, this journey, and your cleaning services, and So
I would love to. I appreciate you tremendously. I appreciate the opportunity. It's been a while since I've done a podcast. I think since 2021. It's been. We did have a podcast. Fuck My Business. We did 6 episodes.
Give it a shout out, and actually give a shout out to your services and everything.
Yeah. So Vilas Cleaning Solutions is my cleaning service, residential or commercial. Yeah. If you have a space that needs to be cleaned, we are the people for you. Also Victor Bolivar, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're local and want to hang out and talk, and maybe you need some advice, I'm here for you. Fitz, I appreciate you tremendously. Yeah, I think you're a cool kid. I think we're probably gonna hang out more. You have a great product, great little project, and I would love to be part of it, either full in or let me advise you, run things by me. This is kind of what I like. I like this shit. I enjoy this.
I do too. I don't really have hobbies besides working and doing endeavors. It's kind of hard to relate to people sometimes when you're not about the Netflix life and you. It's like, let's talk about this, and I'm just like, oh, travel. I'm not really traveling. I want to work, but I need to get to that point so I can enjoy life. But I appreciate it, and I'm very curious and very excited for the future.
I appreciate you, brother. You guys be good.
Yeah, have a good one. Thanks for watching Create Before Consume. My name's Fitz. That was Victor. And check the links out down below. See you in another episode.